on Funniest Pets and People. A pup who tickles the ivories. A limber lemur limps along. A guy comes in for a hard landing. The doggy goes down to Georgia. A two-squirrel smackdown. And the motocrosser puts his best face forward.
It's the show that will have you sick.
Stay, laugh, and beg for more. Welcome to Funniest Pets and People. You just sit there and let us roll out the good times. You've earned it. Getting Frankie to pull the sled was easy. Mom just stitched 2 pieces of Canadian back bacon into the back of little Billy's snow pants, and it was go time, baby.
Good girl, Frankie. Okay, Cam, it's your turn. Cameron's turn.
Don't you wish your car ran on bacon pants?
Oh, you look so pretty. What are you doing?
Molly is no fool.
Taking a bath.
In Beverly Hills, a mud bath will cost you about $700.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Not only that, you're going to be a mess.
Around these parts, they's free for daxing.
You know it's raining a little.
Before patronizing the Thomas Boys snow cone stand, we thought you should see just how they make the snow cones. Three relatives, too much punch, and one wedding story that these people will tell forever. A toast to people who can open champagne bottles properly. May you find one for your next party. Ever since Dan got the remote-control truck he'd always wanted, he stopped paying attention to Alex entirely. Now, Alex was taking matters into her own paws. Alex will not be ignored, Dan. The best way to catch a bunny, well, is to think like a bunny. And when you think like a bunny, you pretty much act like a bunny. Traditionally, the person who catches the bouquet is the next to get married. Tradition also says that if the wind blows the bouquet back into your face, well, you should have had the wedding indoors, you knucklehead. It was an epic battle to see who would be the cutest pet in the house. But little did they know that the longer they battled, the cuter they both became. Ultimately, there could be no winner. Did you ever wonder why your mom used to say, "Don't chase the dog in the house"? That's why. These clips have been aged just right, so they go down smooth. Wolfgang was heralded for the way he used his front paws to build his crescendo. Heck, he even used his tail as a metronome. But he was after a powerful sound, a groundbreaking sound. A sound no one had ever heard before. He wanted a sound that required 4 paws. It was quadrupodic. It's not the song that made him sad. It was knowing that he was responsible for the upcoming 21 bark salute.
These are real cow ribs, or beef bones if you prefer. These are 4 single bones that I hold in my hands a certain way. So I'd like to give you an idea of what I can do.
Hey, man. Evidently the rib bone is connected to the hip bone. Dig it.
Hold it there. And play. Hold it straight. You got it?
This guy thinks he's taught his dog how to play the fiddle. The dog thinks he's been taught to sit still.
You want to sing too?
Hey, do Foggy Mountain.
Hey, are you playing the drums?
Now these smooth sounds is coming straight from Jelly Bean the dog. Don't pay no attention to the man under the covers. Mm-mm. No. This is just a percussionary pup.
Jelly Bean, are you playing the drums?
You know, composing can be so frustrating. And this kid is no exception. I mean, sometimes it really can feel like you are banging your head against the wall. Exactly like you're banging your head against the wall. The opera may not be over until the fat lady sings, but when the Doberman howls, yeah, gotta be getting pretty close. Coming up, a koala misunderstands the term scratching post and a harebrained home repair. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Bundle up, it might get chilly because we're heading outdoors. Hey, cute koala. Those ears, those paws, that cute little nose. Ooh, but that itch. He might have dandruff. I wonder if he's considered a medicated shampoo. They say learning to ride a horse is one of the most difficult things you could ever attempt. Falling off the horse, however, is, it's surprisingly easy. See that? Piece of cake. The lemur may not be your first choice for the track team, but if a sword fight were to break out, they are definitely the ones you want to sign up. Lunge, parry, thrust. Oh yeah, lemurs love fencing. Whether it's for fun, competition, or just to keep the neighbors out of the yard. Now remember, when at the motocross track, should you find a piece of popcorn lodged in your throat, do not panic. Just jump on your bike and maneuver up Heimlich Hill. In no time, you'll cough out the kernel and be right back tearing it up. Sammy loves drinking fresh rainwater because it doesn't have the piquant seal aftertaste. Is it that time already? It's time for Gopher Mania 2007.
The great outdoors will never be the same after rowdy Gophie Gophers mixes it up with Goph Hogan. Throw the rules out the window, baby, and get ready to rumble for Gopher Mania 2007.
There are plenty of reasons not to go and get seconds. 1, you should make sure everybody gets some. 2, 1 full plate of food really is more than enough. And 3, we aren't sure the patio furniture can take it. Now, why don't we discuss why you should never get thirds? The whole town laughed at the Malloys for getting a guard goose. I mean, come on, what good was a guard goose? The neighborhood children would walk right up and tease Goose Malloy. That is until one day. Oh, the town's not laughing now. Raul's hoping to get this ceiling done by tonight. Well, let's hope he does a better job on it than the ceiling over the cameraman's head. And if he was that bad fixing the ceiling, you might want to get someone else to fix that chair. These neck clips are perky, perfect, and purring. If you think this feels good in his paws, think how good it feels to the snake underneath the carpet. No, Mickey will be prepared this time. When that dog gets back from the kennel, he is going to have to run pretty darn fast to catch this cardio kitty. Oh yeah, feel the burn. Now, old-time cat burglars would sneak around and go through windows. But this brazen second-story man walks right through the front door. And he's not even quick about it. He knows he won't get caught. Plus, he has that whole 9 lives thing going for him.
You are so bad.
This year, Mittens would not be denied. He wanted to find the perfect place to see Santa. He doesn't even care that his owner thinks he's naughty. Santa would only put Mr. Mittens on the nice list. We replaced this woman's regular chiropractor with a plain, ordinary, everyday house cat. Let's see if she notices. She didn't. But that's because the cat is just that good. Hi, Paul. What are you looking at? After seeing a contortionist on television, Jimmy Whiskers was dead set on folding himself into that basket. But no matter how much of himself Jimmy gets in there, there still isn't room enough for that tail. Coming up, a cat gives his tongue a much-deserved break. And America's newest superhero, Squirrel Man. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Soaked and crazy, drenched and nuts, however you say it, it is wet and wild. Today was the day. He said he was going to do it, and by gum, he did it. See, it just goes to show that if your mind can conceive something, you can make it happen. It was a lot of work, but Rex finally taught that little boy to swim.
Good dog.
Yep, showering in the sink always made Schnookums incredibly happy. But he didn't have to deal with the furry dishes. While it is a long-standing tradition to launch a naval vessel by striking a bottle of champagne against its hull, there is a much lesser-known, albeit just as traditional, practice of launching a lake dock by striking a water skier against it. I don't know where I am. I'm running back into the water. Tom is about to forget the first rule of kiddie etiquette. When playing on a ledge, always keep your back against the wall. Ramon wasn't sure if he was up to parasailing or not. You see, he's what we call a PG-13 thrill seeker. And in the beginning, it didn't look like Ramon was even gonna get out of the water, let alone parasail across the tropical sky. But now the kinks are worked out and Ramon is about to take off. Fly, Ramon. Fly free, my friend. Is it too late for Ramon to get his money back? Inky had heard it his whole life. Black cats are bad luck. Black cats are bad luck. He was tired of people freaking out just because he crossed their path. Halloween wasn't fun for Inky. He was tired of people thinking he was bad luck. Inky just wanted to belong. So he thought if he took the world's longest shower, he might not be a black cat anymore. But he was wrong. Sorry, Inky. Looks like this time the bad luck is all yours. Even though Lonnie and Donnie are now grown-ups, they still do everything together. Yes, these former childhood buddies remain inseparable. But if they keep this up, they're gonna need an ambulance built for two. Be glad these clips are in your television and not on your bird feeder. They're squirrels. The view is awesome. He's close to work and he likes living in the penthouse. Oh, he'd sign the lease right now if it were not for his concerns about the downstairs neighbor. Not much of a welcoming committee. Yeah, I can't see coming home to that every night. I wonder if there are any vacancies over here. If Sven and Dolly were going to be roommates, they needed to get a few things straight right away. They needed to decide whether it would be chunky or smooth peanut butter. They needed to decide who would get to shower first in the morning. And most importantly, they needed to decide who got dibs on the ice pack after they finished fighting over the other stuff. Yeah, give it about 6 months. Charlie had heard this paper towel was the quicker picker-upper. So he was going to prove he was the faster paper ripper. Now, Curtis the cat really didn't like confrontation, but his owner had other ideas. See, his owner didn't know that Curtis and Lloyd the squirrel had been buddies for like months. Curtis just wishes that his owner would do his own dirty work. Coming up, the perfect pet for people with warts. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People.
She loves you.
Freddie just wanted to get to the swamp. Even though he got directions online, he took a wrong turn somewhere and ended up in the Hendersons' backyard. He just wants to be pointed in the right direction. Now, is the swamp to the left or to the right? If he could just get back to the interstate. Now, one thing's for sure, he's never going to trust internet directions again. See you next time.